Everything the light touches is our kingdom, Simba. But what's over there, Dad? That's the hood, son. You must never go there. I think I would have made a great Mufasa. Imagine a Lion King that takes place in like the hood, because that's basically what like the shadow area was where Scar hung out. It was like the south side of Chicago. Anyway, what's going on, guys? As Thomas Sanders would say, story time. So, when I was in high school, it was, high school is a time of confusion, right? It's like your big identity crisis, right? I mean, you go into high school out of middle school. You start going forward and you literally say, okay, I have to figure out like who I am and what I'm about, and compare yourself, contrast yourself to like other kids, and so on and so forth, different things like that. And so for me, I never really came into my own until probably my junior year. There was a point when I went through a thug life phase, when it was like thug Rob, right? Like gangster Rob, like thug Rob. And here's the thing. I thought I was hot shit. All right, check this picture out. Look at this picture right here. That picture of me was thug life Rob. And it's really actually kind of embarrassing. And I kind of wish I'd never shown you guys. I don't know why I'm doing this. Just got to do it for the vlog. So when I got my first part-time job, it was, well, I guess really it was working at Steak and Shake in Lexington anyway. The first part-time job I ever really had was Steak and Shake in Northern Kentucky. But when I got my first part-time job, it was the first time I'd ever really had like any kind of money, right? And so my family really came from like poor circumstances. And so for me, like having cash like that was like, not being financially responsible. And I had to kind of teach myself financial responsibility. But what I did is I went to Fayette Mall, and around that time, FUBU was still like a really big thing, right? Like FUBU was really big in the late 90s and the early 2000s. And so because that, like for those of you guys who are familiar, FUBU was for us by us, and so it was basically a clothing line for like African Americans, right? Because the stance at the time was like white folks have like Nautica and Polo and Tommy Hilfiger and all that kind of stuff, which don't even get me started on Tommy Hilfiger in middle school. Everybody had Tommy Hilfiger. It was the thing to wear. If you weren't wearing Tommy Hilfiger, you weren't cool. That and starter jackets were like the shit, right? I mean, I never had a starter jacket. I always wanted one. But nonetheless, FUBU I always thought had really, really cool looking stuff. And so I remember going to Fayette Mall with a buddy of mine, Derek, and a friend of mine, Nick, who I haven't talked to either of those guys in years, actually. And we went to this place called The Buckle. And I don't even know if that store still exists or not. But we went to this store called The Buckle, and we were shopping around in there, and I found that FUBU hoodie, right? It said like Brooklyn on the front of it, and it was blue, and I was like, this thing looks legit. And so I was like, okay, I need to buy that. And so I remember trying it on, and I was like, how do you guys think I look? And they were like, oh man, dude, this is really, really fly. And the chick at the store was like, yeah, you look good. The whole time, I'm none the wiser. She's just trying to make a sale is all she wants to do. She just wants to make money. That's all. Just like produce a sale, get a commission, and be done with it. She'll tell me whatever I want to hear in order to make that happen. That's why, number one rule, guys, never trust salespeople. But anyway, so I'm in there, like I buy that stuff, and then like we leave, and as we're leaving, I ended up realizing like there's this place that sells gold chains. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, there's two types of gold. There's real gold and fake gold. You can always spot fake gold because it makes your skin turn green. And I remember my neck was turning green because of the reaction of the chemical with my skin, with basically anybody's skin, with the oils on your skin, different things like that. Like it produces a green film, and that's how you basically know that it's fake. So I go into school, got my hair all curly and everything, all right, and I'm wearing like this gold chain, and I'm wearing like this blue FUBU hoodie, and I think I'm the shit. I look like a plum fool. I'll be honest with you guys. I look silly as hell, and it's kind of funny because for me, at the time, I thought I was awesome. And that's kind of the important thing, right? I mean, and you guys know, in these Storytime videos, we always kind of have like a moral to the story, right? We always kind of have like a point that we're making with this whole thing. At the time, I thought I was cool. And at the time, I thought I was awesome. Now, looking back, I look like a fool, but at the time, I was enjoying myself. And that's the important thing, right? I mean, I remember seeing this quote on Reddit once: if you don't cringe at things you did in the past, then you never really lived. Now, of course, that's within reason, right? I mean, I cringe at the fact that like I robbed a bank once. No, you don't want to do anything like that. I mean, that's not really, it's not okay. It's not okay to like rob institutions. You shouldn't be doing that. But looking back at like your life experiences and like some of the choices you've made, like the goofy things you've done, if you've never really cringed, then you've never really lived, because that's the only way you really learn, is to get out there and just do goofy things and try goofy things. Now, to a degree, that was kind of the fashion. The problem was I didn't have like the other half of the fashion, because back then it was all about like FUBU shirts, and then it was all about those God, what was it? Those denim jeans, and usually like patent leather shoes, right? Because like Nike had those, or you had like the patent leather Air Jordans, different things like that. I couldn't afford any of that. I was able to afford like half the outfit, so I ended up walking around looking like a fool. But at the time, I was having I was having the time of my life, and that's the important thing. Always remember, guys, that while it is important to look to the future, and it is important to look to where you're going and what you want to do with your life, also make sure that like you don't forget to live in the moment, and don't forget to take solace in like the small things and enjoy the small little comforts of life. Sure, in the future you may look back at yourself and you might look goofy. Other people might tell you that you look goofy, whatever. But if you're happy with where you are, then go with it and just live, right? Because life's too short to live by somebody else's standards. Anyway, yeah. So with that being said, guys, we're gonna bring this video to an end, and yeah. I will catch you all later. Peace.